Ta-da! What is happening out there in YouTube land? This is yours truly, Rockin' Dave, the real deal, North Fort Myers, Southwest Florida, and welcome to Rock Solid Chops. I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. Hope your Christmas holiday was fantastic and safe, and congratulate anyone out there who got a new guitar, especially a new electric guitar. So this is why I want to kind of go back to doing this series and kind of help everyone out there. We're going to skip through the chase and get right to the point and playing. There are a million tutorial guitar lesson videos out there, so my best suggestion is to learn from as many people as possible, and you're going to associate with something that's going to make sense to you, that's easy for you to understand. In addition to that, if you do find a local guitar teacher in your area and you connect with that person, by all means, take the time, take the opportunity to hook up and do guitar lessons with that teacher. Because we do want to support all our music teachers out there. They're very helpful. There's nothing like a one-on-one lesson. Okay, that being said, I'm going to open up this series of Rock Solid Chops. I have a couple of videos up already from a few months ago dealing with technique and that, and basically that's what this is going to be. Okay, so you get a guitar, you want to play rock music, and the first thing that draws you to is rhythms like that. But a lot of people have a hard time with playing what is known as power chords, especially in the very beginning stages, because you're playing with your index and your third finger, your ring finger. And I've had this actually happen with a student of mine years ago when we were still living in Chicago and I was teaching back in Chicago. And he had a full-size guitar and he couldn't play the F chord up here because of the finger spacing. So if that is hard for you to do, if you could see that, my middle finger's not doing anything. It's just my third finger, index finger. So if that is hard to separate your fingers, to get used to that spacing, if you notice when you come up to the fretboard, the frets get closer and closer to each other. So what I did for him is I had him play right on the 12th fret position, which is E, and it's the same fingering where you're going to skip a fret. Your first finger goes on the low E string, your third finger goes on the 5th string, which is called A. And I'll get into all the names and the notes in later videos, so don't worry about that. And you're going to have a space in between. So my middle finger is really not doing anything except hovering over the strings, okay? And this part of my finger is muting those strings out. So I just try to focus on just strumming these two strings. And we're going to do all downstrokes. And I'm going to help you create a rhythm and build technique at the same time. And this is going to be a lot of downstroke, okay, for this one. Okay, so here we go. And we're going to move fret by fret all the way until we could hit up to the first position, playing F. Okay, so here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if you notice, I was just strumming downstrokes 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you do it as many times as you want and take it down as far as you could go. Because here's the reality: in the very beginning stages of playing guitar, your fingers are not used to doing all these little tricks and shapes that you would normally do when you play guitar. So you have to get used to it. And what I'm doing here is by my rhythm, I'm just resting the palm of my hand on this piece called the bridge. And you could do it any way that you want. So my arm is resting on the body of the guitar. My hand is resting on it. And I'm just holding the pick like this. I'm not, grabbing it real tight. Just nice, firm, but not too loose, not too tight. Okay. So that is one way of you being able to build your strength on doing power chords. Now, what I was doing in the opening was combining E, open E, and I'm fretting the A string on the 2nd fret with my middle finger, and the reason being, it's so I could set myself up to play F. I'm strumming just the 2 top strings. Now I'm only moving my fingers like that so you can see this. You're going to start to develop this over a course of time. But what you want to do when you learn guitar, you want to learn something that's cool and something that you really like to play. You're going to want to play what you like to listen to, in other words. And for a lot of rock and metal guitarists out there, it's having that heavy, chug rhythm, Now I'm just speeding up that pace. Now when I do what's called the galloping rhythm, now let's see if I could get you where you could see what my pick is. So I'm coming up. So my pick is, when I'm going down, it's in this direction. When I'm coming up, I angle it up so I can kind of sweep up the strings. Because if you try to come upwards like this, it's going to be horrible. It's going to be just horrible. It's going to want to slap the strings and pop the strings and that. So when you speed that rhythm up, you'll get this. So I'm going from an E to F, then to a G, which is the 3rd fret. Then I do a G sharp or A flat. Then I do a pinched harmonic on the 4th fret, which is known as G sharp or A flat. And I'll get into that later. And I'll show you the secrets of pinched harmonics. I'm doing what's called a vibrato. And I'm striking the string, and with this flesh of my thumb, it hits the string. I will get into a very, very in-depth tutorial on how to develop pinched harmonics. In the beginning stages, it's a little bit rough, but if you could see what I'm doing, by all means, go ahead and try that. The easiest way to develop it is with a lot of distortion and on the thick string, and get used to vibrato, banging the string a little bit. It's got a cool effect. Okay, so I hope I'm not throwing too much at you, but at the same time, I don't want to go all boring either. Now, the next thing I'm going to show people, so all of you out there, is how you develop a good alternate picking hand. Now, a lot of people learn blues scales in the 5th fret position. So I'm going to do what's called a 4-finger exercise on the 5th fret position on all 6 strings. So I'm playing the 5th fret, 6th fret, 7th fret, 8th fret, and I go down to the next string and do the same thing. Now watch my right hand. Down, up, 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 and then reverse it. What you're going to notice, when you cross the string, it's going to be on an up stroke. Up, down, 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 up. See what I mean? When I'm crossing strings as I go up in pitch, when I go to that next string, it's on a downstroke. Upstroke now. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Okay, so let's say you have a hard time with this. Let's say you have no problems going downward, but it's the upstroke. And you have a problem with your pinky. So this is what you could do. In one exercise, you can tackle two problem techniques. There are two problem issues that you might have. You could start with the pinky. We're going to play the notes backwards, going up the strings, and we're going to start with an upstroke, and that is going to look like this. Pinky starting, and you're playing it backwards, so pay attention and watch exactly what I'm doing. Up, down, 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 and you'll be able to get this. So you're going to see how valuable it is coming out the gate learning how to do alternate picking, because anyone who wants to start doing shredding, you're not going to be able to do it just downstroke. Okay, so brings to the third part of this video I want to do. So I kind of break this in three different parts: rhythm, chromatic, if you want to call it chromatic scale exercise to sync up the left picking hand, the fretting hand with the right picking hand, or if you're left-handed, it's reverse, okay? And then how to take and build on melodies. I'm going to stay in the 5th fret position, and this is a really good exercise to get developing on your melody playing and your alternate picking playing. And now we do 3 notes per string. And we're going to take all natural notes. So there's no sharps or flats. And I'll name the notes. It's going to be, all right, first of all, you're on the 2nd string, your B string. You're on the 5th, 6th, and 8th fret. And then the next pattern is on the high E string, on the 5th fret, 7th fret, and 8th fret. So those notes are, on the B string is E, F, G. On the high E string, it's A, B, C. And that pattern is going to be this. And watch the right hand as well. I'll do it nice and slow. Now we're going to play that same pattern backwards, starting with the pinky, starting with the upstroke. Okay, and now we're going to do another pattern where it's 3 notes on the B string, 1 note on the high E string. And that 1 note on the high E string is going to be played with an upstroke. So the pattern is going to look like this. Down, up, down, up, down, up. So I don't want to go too fast because I want people to comprehend this. And now what we're going to do is do a bending using those same notes. Slow vibrato. I'm bending the 8th fret. I'm bending the B string, my 2nd string on the 8th fret. Now I'm going to go to the high E string. Now if you notice, I'm using, all my fingers are on that string, but that's the note that's being played. I'm just using my hand as leverage to bend that note. So I don't want to go too fast and go off on a tangent and lose people. But I just wanted to throw this video up there because I know a lot of you got a new guitar and you're probably like, you know, I'd like to be able to play something. Now, if you notice, these are not cover songs. It's part of because of the copyright infringement. So these rhythms and all these little techniques I'm showing you, go ahead and use them. Go ahead and start to develop this technique and move things around. But you know, learn it from as many people as you possibly can and as many styles as you can. And I will be posting up videos weekly on how to build on your technique and how to just really learn how to be a good, efficient, solid player. And then I think what I'll do is do a monthly live stream where you could come on board and just, if you want to bring your guitar, I'll do a little playing and explain what I'm doing, and I'll slow it down. And so you guys could watch what I'm doing. You could grab your guitar and you could play right along with me live, and see how that works. So we'll do that a monthly, once a month. We'll try that, and I think if we can, we'll see about starting that. I think this Sunday, maybe around 2 o'clock Eastern time. So, anyways, my friends, leave comments below and ask me what you know, how you like this and what you'd like to see more of. And again, Merry Christmas to everybody and congratulations on your new guitar. I just wanted to put this up so people could start playing their guitar right away and get right to the point. So I hope you guys can see the fretboard, see what my hands are doing, and just have fun playing guitar. Alright, my friends, until our next video, you take care as always, rock on, and God bless. See you in the next video.